Good morning, lovely. I just want to give you a few tips on doing headstands, so hopefully it will help. But if not, if you're having still trouble, we can always do a one-to-one session. But I just want to give you a few tips of trying to enter into the pose and just a few things I've observed just from watching you doing your headstand. So first of all, you can always use a pillow for your head if it's too much pressure, okay? So this sometimes helps if you have too much pressure in your head. This is especially evident when you're doing the tripod one. So you can always use a pillow. So make sure that your arms are at 90 degrees. Your forearms to your upper arms, straight line. So your elbows are in line with your wrists. So you can do with your hands flat on the ground. Lift your seat to start. And walk your your feet closer so that your seat is right over the heels, your seat is right over the shoulder, your hips basically. Okay, so your hips are nice and high, and then you want to just rest just underneath the knees against your elbows. And then from here you can just bend your toes back, and you just kind of dance one foot off at the time. Just pull your toes away from the ground. It's pretty safe here. All you have to do is place your feet down if ever you're not feeling safe. Okay, so then eventually you can bring one, when you are comfortable lifting your toes away from the ground, you come up higher. So then you just keep, the pressure's now on just to get close to the elbows on the upper arms. Okay, so then you can do this. I personally like to have my hands turned this way and tent my hands. So from the starting position, you come into the position with your seat directly over your knees, and your fingertips are in line with your knees, the back of your knees. You walk your hands out a little bit further to the edges of the mat, and then you lift your seat, and then you can come up here and bring one foot back. Just allow the foot to hang heavily behind you. Try to get the foot as close as possible to your fingertips, in line with your fingertips. And just lift up off your heel. So the good thing about this pose is that this is good for people who are less flexible, who tend to round their back when they come up. Okay, so this helps them to get a little bit more straight, the hips over the shoulders where they have to be. Okay, so you allow your foot to hang back heavily behind you like a low-hanging fruit. Again, you pulse your heel up and down. Don't jump, just lift up right as high as you can on the tippy toes. Then again, really push into your fingertips and see if you can pull your toes away from the ground. This is the start of it. Okay, so the fingertips pushing into the mat gives you a lot of power because you have like 5-10 points of really directed power into the ground. And then from here, notice how my arms are also not 90 degrees, or a little bit more than 90 degrees. Okay, so you have a big triangular base. This gives you steadiness. And then eventually, when you feel comfortable here, you keep pushing through the back foot. This is a very stable position, helps you find a balance easier because your legs are split. One foot is behind the other, so you're counterbalancing. Okay, so this is where it starts. Okay, so then if it's too much pressure for your head, you can do it on your forearms. So then you make sure, I like to do it to maybe start against a wall or a chair. You bring your feet right against the wall or the legs of a chair. You start with your elbows. Make sure you can hold your elbows easily just underneath your shoulders, and then don't move your elbows. Move your hands out, interlace your fingers, and place your head between your palms. So you squeeze in your head with your palms. Make sure again your elbows don't go out. You want to have your that triangle again. So again, and your wrists are hugging the inside of your head for more balance, for more stability. You bring one foot on a wall about the height of the hip. I can't do it here because my chair is too low. Or you bring your foot on the seat, and you bring again one leg all the way back. Then you want to push into the forearms, push into the bottoms of the hands that are connected to the ground, and again you pull your toes away from the wall. The foot behind you again is very heavy, and the idea is if you fall, you're already close to the ground. Okay, so you have to relax when you fall so that you just roll out of it. So if you tense up, that's when it's going to not be as nice of a fall. So you want to just relax. You want to try to just practice rolling out of it.
have blankets around with you, do it on a cushy floor, do it outside on the grass, so that you get used to falling. Okay, so again, take hold of the opposite elbows, move your hands forward, tuck, press down into the wrists, interlace the fingers, and then place your head between your palms, and then again, you just bring one leg back, and then you hang your foot close to the ground. Flex your feet as well. When you push the base of the toes, this helps you keep your leg muscles engaged so you stay strong. So your core is always engaged so you don't flop out of it. Okay, so then you pull your toes away from the seat of the chair or the wall, and the wall is always within reach. Make sure you're not too far from the wall. You shouldn't have to reach for the wall. So this messes up your alignment too. Make sure that when you're on the wall, your knee can still bend. Okay, so you're quite close to the wall. And then eventually you move a little bit further away, you keep pushing with the back foot, and eventually your feet hang at the same height as your hips. Don't rush to try to get all the way up. Okay, so just find a bounce here, so you can move your legs around easily. And then eventually you can maybe come into a tuck and then straight up. Or I saw you doing maybe this pose here where your one knee is on the elbow and one leg is up. I recommend also keep your leg bent here, just like this. Okay, so then when your leg is straight up, this is when it becomes scary, and this is when you fall more heavily, right? So if you keep your leg bent, you're again close to the ground. And then you come up little by little. So the important thing is to not have too many expectations about holding the pose very long at first. It's better to just, get used to the motion of coming up and down, get used to that. Don't have to hold it long. Just come down when you need to, and then each time you do it, you'll find the steadiness to stay a little bit longer. So I hope this helps, and please reach out if you have any questions. Much, much, much love, and I hope to see you soon in practice. Love you.